Ekranları önünde dinleyen değerli katılımcılar, Ege Ekonomi Geliştirme Vakfı ve
distinguished participants who watch and listen to us in front of their screens. Thanks to the cooperation between Aegean Economic Development Foundation and Özgencin Group Corporation, and thanks to the support of İzmir Metropolitan Municipality, İzmir Chamber of Commerce, Aegean Exporters Association, and ISDA Strategic Partnership, İzmir Industrialists and Businessmen Association, İzmir Commodity Exchange, Aegean Industrialists and Businessmen Association, and with this, and also under the sponsorship of the Union of Chambers of Tradesmen and Craftsmen of İzmir, Çimentaş Group, Aegean Region Chamber of Industry, Aegean Young Businessmen Association, Aegean Trade Founder and Operator Incorporation, and again with the main sponsorship by Turkey with the support of Zorlu Holding, Dünya Newspaper, Versay Communication Group, and Dünya Newspaper. We are currently holding the 5th day and last day of Aegean Economic Forum conference. There is simultaneous interpretation available in our sessions. Our guests would like to listen to broadcast complete English. They can switch to YouTube channel. And distinguished exhibitors, distinguished partners.
Turizmin mıknatısı gastronomi kapanış oturumuyla sizlerle birlikte olacağız.
Distinguished viewers.
Günün ilk oturumu az önce de belirttiğim gibi forumun strateji
Today will be about rebirth of 2 million years of old Gediz. And at 3 p.m. we're going to have another session, and I'd like to invite Puyar and also esteemed participants to the platform, and also I'd like to invite İzmir Metropolitan Municipality Mayor Mustafa Tunç Soyer, Uşak Municipality Mayor Mehmet Çakın, Kütahya Municipality Mayor Professor Dr. Aylin Işık. I'd like to invite them to the stage, and I'll give the floor to them. And thank you very much. I wish you a very great session. Thank you very much, Ebru. Thank you so much for this great introduction. And esteemed mayors, esteemed presidents, welcome to our session. Our panel continues on the online platform. Even though we are all vaccinated, we have to be careful, and we should not have these meetings one-to-one in physical environments. And I wish everyone very healthy and very nice days. All the participants, all our panelists who are watching us in front of their screens at their homes, I'd like to extend my gratitude to all of them. I'll give the floor to İzmir Metropolitan Municipality Mayor and Aegean Municipalities Union Mayor, esteemed Mustafa Tunç Soyer. I'd like to give the floor to him. So, we paid a visit to Gediz River Basin in June. What were your observations? Can you please talk about them? Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to me. And I also would like to extend my gratitude to esteemed Mayor, Kütahya Municipality Mayor, Uşak Municipality Mayor, and also I'd like to thank you very much for being the moderator of the session. Gediz River Basin is one of the most important basins of Turkey. Approximately, it comprises of 10% of Turkey's agriculture. If we say that in these words, it's not only about Kütahya, Manisa, Uşak, and İzmir. It's not limited to these cities. This river basin is 2 million years old, and today it comprises of 10% of agricultural production of Turkey. Because of these reasons, it is very valuable, and it has a 400 kilometer of roads, and we wanted to see those places because it includes 4 different cities and provinces. So the responsibility of this basin is not very much certain. The tasks to be delivered are not certain. For that reason, we wanted to see what we could do, how it takes its resource, how it is, and a meeting with the sea. We wanted to see it on its own side and on the road of 400 kilometers for 4 days. And for us, it was 1,800 kilometers. We had this journey altogether. And where it takes its source is Kayapınar Fall, and it's an amazing beauty. I can't describe its beauty with just words. I mean, even my literature and knowledge can't be useful in describing the beauty of this fall, but it is a very crystal clear, bright
Ve işte o yolculuk o noktada başlıyor. Murat Dağı'nda, Kütahya'da, Murat Dağı'nda ve Uşak'tan, işte Manisa'dan geçerek İzmir'de, Foça'da denize dökülüyor. Şimdi bu 400 kilometrelik güzergahta dediğim gibi çok farklı noktalarda tespitler yapma imkanı bulduk. Önce şunu söyleyeyim. Doğduğu noktadaki berraklık, temizlik,
the cleanness where it starts, where it begins,
kirlenmeye başladığını gördük.
immediately started to get polluted in the first place. That the river initiated, then we have seen that it was getting worse and worse polluted. It was first of all gray, and then it became darker. So it is wildly being polluted. So in the industrial area where the organized industrial zone is we have been witnessing that all of the pollutants were entering into the Gediz Basin river, and in Fethiye as well. It has been actually carried. So briefly to say, there are 4 disasters that we have witnessed. The first one is drought.
Çok kısa bir zaman öncesine kadar, 3-5 yıl öncesine
till just 3 to 5 years ago, we were having water, producers were having water just till 5 to 10 meters, but right now they have to go down to 300, 400 meters. So we can talk about there's a big threat of drought, and it is actually giving too much pain to farmers. And unfortunately, there is a pattern of wrong production, and unfortunately, it is still being supported. For instance, for the silage manufacturing, they say that they're going to give certain incentives. And the maize corn for silage, if it is continued in spite of this threat of, even though there is this threat of drought, this is something that we have to definitely stop, because you have to give 85 liters of water to just produce these products, and there is this trend of growth, and also unfortunately people are still insisting on having these wrong products, and there is a wrong irrigation method, like the surface irrigation, the traditional flood irrigation, and this even though these are not sufficient, we know that we have to take more precautions, and so this river is facing with 4 big challenges, and this is not something which is sustainable. And in front of us, in front of our eyes, all the wastes from the organized industrial areas, all the toxins, all this poison are sent to the gardens of fruits and vegetables, and this water was used as irrigation water. So, but we eat those vegetables and fruits on our tables, so we are toxinated here. It's something toxic, and this is happening in front of us. And Gediz River Basin is unfortunately facing with these major threats. And what we saw in Gediz River is that if we can stop the pollution, Gediz River can eliminate all the previous damages, because nature has this healing ability. Nature can heal itself, and Gediz can also recover itself, and Gediz then can find its way in a crystal and very bright, very cleanly to Aegean Sea. So what we try to do here as the Union of Aegean Municipalities, we need to remind of everyone that we have certain responsibilities and obligations. The ones who are intoxicating their river, and the ones who are bluntly adding their toxic waste to Gediz River. So we need to, of course, put some hearings about the
davranış.
we can
Bir bedeli olmalı. Çünkü hepimiz bunun faturasını ödüyoruz.
Evet.
Ağır yaptırımlar uygulanmalı diye düşünüyoruz. Bir yandan bu devam.
complainable. And also we are trying to do our best, as I've stated beforehand, and we have collected samples, and we are doing whatever is necessary in terms of these sample collections, and we try to give information to the relevant institutions so that they could also take precautions. And also, as I said it beforehand, the pattern of the manufacturing these products must be changed, and rather than the animal husbandry, some sheep and goats must be maybe raised in Manisa, and also products that can be raised with the natural precipitation should be chosen, and also certain natural products that could also be raised with the pure seeds that we call them ancestral seeds. And our producers who produce these products could also be given insurance and security of procurement with the 1/3 of the price that is given by the state. For instance, we had the barley wheat last year, and 40 tons of barley wheat is again distributed as seeds. And for the first time, I guess, we are going to be launching our municipality's brand, which is made out of barley wheat. So this pattern of products, this range of products must be changed on the basin, Gediz River Basin, which is also in line with the threat of growth, and also Gediz River should not be used bluntly and also widely, so that it's not going to be any more toxinated. And also the producers' contribution, added value gainings should be also increased. So in all the basin, we have to make certain attempts, and this is what we are doing. We are making our efforts and taking our steps. As Izmir Metropolitan Municipality, we are currently working on having the water treatment facility in certain places, and it's going to be shared with the local government. And if you wish, I can just pause here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a great observational comment. You mentioned that 1,800 kilometers you have just covered, and you have made great observations. Now I'd like to give the floor to Kütahya, which is also another important city from Gediz River Basin. So what does Gediz River Basin mean for Kütahya? All the things happening in Gediz River Basin, how are these affecting Kütahya? What is your perspective? So how do you see all these developments of Gediz River Basin from Kütahya? Thank you very much. And I'd like to extend my salutations and respect to esteemed mayors and Tunç Soyer. And I'd like to also thank him for his works about Gediz River Basin. Thank you very much, esteemed mayor, and Mehmet Mayor, esteemed mayor. Thank you very much. And he is also the mayor of one of the important cities of this basin region. Thank you very much for what you have done so far. And Gediz River Basin, yes, starts from the very place that Gediz River takes its roots. And as the mayor of this city, we try to do our best to provide a cleaner, better city to new generations, future generations. So I'm really delighted to be here in this conference, and thank you very much for your invitation. You have applied to us to get our opinions, comments. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank everyone who has exerted their efforts. When we talk about Gediz River Basin, we can talk about the invaluable sources of Aegean region, actually, because this is also a tourism region and also industry region and also agricultural region. So it's one of the very important places for our country, and it should protect its own natural resources, and it must hand everything that it has over to next generations. And Gediz River is one of the important values that we have. Last year, especially in 2020, we were carrying out certain works in terms of the gold mining in certain mountains, and we open up a new case for the cancellation of the research permit for gold mines in the mountainous area, and we were a party for this claim. So this river basin must be protected. First and foremost, this is a must, and it must be sustainable when it comes to irrigation, when it comes to water treatment. This basin must be protected, and environmental effects must be decreased, and all the pollutant factors should be eliminated. This is something that we have to have an approach that is joined, of course, and this is an important resource for us, especially for Kütahya, Uşak, Manisa, and Izmir. For these cities, Gediz River is one of the most important water resources for the basin, and we have to definitely protect these places without polluting it. As Mr. Soyer has already mentioned, each and every day the threat of drought is getting worse, and it is something that we are thinking very severely. I think we can't see you very much. Actually, I'm in the car. That's why I'm so sorry. Can you see me now better? Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Especially the underground ground sources and also the groundwater levels. These are getting much more scarce, and we can understand that water has become much more valuable and expensive. Maybe a couple of years later, we have to spend more effort and money and time to reach what we have today. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank all the mayors and public institutions, representatives, citizens, and farmers who did their best to protect this basin. I think everyone has this responsibility for the protection of this basin. Everyone has to have this awareness. And garden irrigation should be stopped because rain and drop irrigation system is something that should be chosen, and farmers using these kind of irrigation methods must be supported and endorsed, and we can also do our best. And especially in Kütahya city center, when it comes to wild traditional irrigation, there are certain neighbors still using these neighborhoods still using these irrigations, and we are renewing these irrigation methodologies, and we are in line with the hydraulic affairs of the state, and we will change the irrigation methods. We will switch to drop and rain irrigation methods. So this is something very, very crucial that you have put this agenda at this very important place. Thank you very much once again for your invitation, and I'd like to thank esteemed mayors for their great effort and great responsibility. If you have questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. And we have another round, by the way. Thank you very much. And Aylin Işık, I guess, yes, he is on his way to Adıyaman. That's why he is on the road, and is. But if nothing happens, tomorrow we are going to have Adıyaman and Kütahya football teams game as the mayors. That's why we are going to be there. For that reason, I'm so sorry for my bad connection. And thank you very much. I wish you will be scoring too many goals. Thank you very much. And of course, the one who plays well should win. This is what we wish. And thank you very much once again. I'd like to ask the same question to you. So what does Gediz River Basin mean for Uşak, and what are the effects of Gediz River Basin to Uşak in general? What can you say? Okay. Thank you very much. I think we can hear you. Yes. Great.
Selamlıyorum. Sayın İzmir Büyükşehir Belediye
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank all the participants and I'd like to extend my salutations to everyone. Esteemed Izmir Metropolitan Municipality Mayor, thank you very much for pioneering these works for our region. Thank you so much, because Gediz River Basin is one of the vessels of our lives, actually. And when we look at this great Menderes River Basin and also Gediz River Basin, these are the most important places for Uşak, and as other cities have already assumed responsibilities, Uşak is going to assume many more responsibilities, and this is the situation that we are aware of, and we know this situation. The climate change and also environmental issues are one of the very important agenda items of the world and our country. As you all know, we have become a party to Paris Climate Agreement, and with the joint participation and approval of the Grand National Assembly, Paris Climate Agreement has been ratified by the President, and we have become a party to Paris Climate Agreement. And throughout this process, I believe all the local governments and municipalities will have many important responsibilities in the upcoming days. And we will be doing our best to protect our region and Gediz River Basin with all the institutions that we can work together. And we will hand over a clean Uşak, a clean region and environment to next generations. As Alim has mentioned, Mr. Alim, our mayor, has mentioned, that mountain is very crucial for feeding, nourishing river basin, and this is also one of the very important water sources for our city. And also our dam is located on Murat mountain, and water is taking its resource from Murat mountain. So we are distributing water to the city from this mountain dam. For that reason, protecting this river basin and also the mountainous area is of crucial importance. There are some mining works, and those mining works must be made very selectively. We are very much delicate and sensitive about our choices. As our mayor has already mentioned, as Uşak municipality, we have become a party for this hearing case, and we are following this process very closely, and we will always follow these processes. So specific to Uşak, if I'm to speak about, as it happens in the region, we know that this basin is very precious for agricultural purposes. This region is again very crucial for the tourism and industry. I mean, we should also take tourism and industrial intensity of the region. So these two important factors must be kept alive at the same time. This is our responsibility. Again, peculiar to Uşak, unless there is industry, Uşak can't survive. So we can't think of Uşak without industry. So what we need to do is that, first and foremost, we have to take precautions. We need to eliminate all the pollutants to the region, environment, and the river basin. And at the same time, we have to empower our industrialists' investments, especially with respect to the treatments and wastewater treatments and also solid waste treatments. And we are currently working on these new investments. And as municipality, with respect to water treatment, we know that current treatment facility has certain capacity problems, and in the near future, we will be collecting the fruits of our great works. So the current capacity will be increased by 2 times, and a new water treatment facility tender has already been opened. So I'd like to give you this good news. Just yesterday, we have announced the tender for new water treatment facility. Hopefully, all the domestic water waste will be under control with this new water treatment facility, and the treated water could also be used for different purposes. Previously, Aylin Bey has already mentioned, we know that underground water right now is getting much more scarce. People have to go down to 300 meters below. Rather than using the groundwater, treated water could be used in the organized industrial regions, on the agricultural irrigations, and also in city parks and gardens irrigation. So with this investment, I believe we can take an important step for our city and for our region. And also, I need to emphasize one thing. Everyone should assume their responsibilities. If they realize their responsibilities, we can fight against this problem. It's not peculiar to a certain region. It's not about a certain place. Because if just a municipality or if just an institution carries out their duties, of course, to a certain extent, it's going to solve the problem, but it's not going to solve the problem at all, holistically. Even one drop of polluted water can create huge effects over the whole environment. So, with the UNESCO's framework and with the Paris Climate Agreement frameworks and under the umbrella of the international climate agreements, we know that it is very crucial for fighting against these problems. There is no need for me to repeat the problems because our problems are common, and as the Mayor Tunç, as the Mayor Aylin, they all have mentioned the use of groundwater and uncontrolled way of wastewater release. So this is also valid for Uşak. This is again a problem for us. And some new codes and laws that can be issued from the Grand National Assembly of Turkey, we can, I believe, have a better progress, and we can take further steps for a cleaner and better Turkey. And yesterday, in November 10th, millions of trees were planted, and as Uşak municipality, we also started a campaign for tree plantation. It has many dimensions, and everything here, different dimensions must be dealt one by one, and all the institutions should come and join at a certain place. Thank you very much. Now we'll start the second part of our session. We will start with, again, esteemed Mayor Tunç Soyer.
Sayın Başkan, Glasgow'daki COP26
Now
zirvesine
in Glasgow, you also had attended the COP26 summit and you just returned from Glasgow. What is your observation over there? Is there a relation on the problems in the world and also the Gediz Basin? And the Gediz Basin is intended for you to be taken under the World Heritage List, isn't it? So what do you think when it's going to be last? When we are in the UNESCO list, what will happen then? So what type of solutions will this bring? Well, thank you very much once again. Glasgow COP26 summit is closing today, and for 10 days, for almost 12 days, the world's heartbeat was there. And due to the fact that the pandemic is getting a little better, tens thousands of people were in Glasgow. And at each platform, from each country and from each city, there have been attendees. There was an extraordinary joy or summit or affair, we can call it. There has been plenty of panels made at the same time. It was a very exciting period of time. I would like to declare it first and foremost, but it's very clear that there are two basic conclusions about this meeting. With single small interventions or pretending as if you are finding a solution cannot work any longer. So everybody right now is aware of this. And secondly, it has not only been accepted by the states or by legal regulations. It is quite clear that the NGOs, the citizens, the people of the world have to be involved in it. Only then can we come to a result, to a better result. As you know, Beatles, John Lennon has a song, Imagine all the people, and he says that there are no borders any longer. Yes, due to this climate change, there are no borders any longer, and everybody is in collaboration in order to find solution for that. This is a new world that is right now establishing, has been founding. In this new world, we need to take some steps. We are determining the new goals, and this is a world that is going to be in harmony with the nature. So a few days ago, every 2 years, we are making a World International Cultural Summit. We have a new definition, a motto, which is called the circular culture. And this circular culture has 4 pillars. And first and foremost, you need to be in harmony with nature, harmony with yourself, harmony with your past, and harmony with the change, transformation itself. Why? Because in order to fight against the climate change, and you need a new cultural revolution, and that cultural revolution has to be based on these 4 milestones, 4 pillars, and that can only be done with the circular transformation, circular culture. And in these meetings of COP26, they wanted us to explain what this circular culture is. In brief, I would like to say that the problem we are facing in Gediz is also been seen in the Mediterranean area and all around the world. The drought is not only unique to us. We are facing this everywhere in the world. And another situation here is that there are certain other conclusions that occur. There are floods, but the reason is the same again. And that is the reason why we need to find out ways to be in harmony with this globe. We need to have a zero carbon emission in this universe. In this universe, we have a dirty carbon footprint, and that is the reason why we need to overcome this, and we can make studies about that. As we all know, this planet, when the temperature rises at about 1.5 degrees Celsius, just like how a person has fever, there are symptoms, and the world has symptoms as well. If it gets heated, in some areas it can be a flood, in some parts of the geography it can be a drought, in some areas of the world it can be a hurricane. But when the world gets sick, it is not possible for us to be healthy. So that is the reason why, in order to heal the world, we need to take very distinct steps, and we need to work in collaboration. Let me give you an example, what types of measures to be taken. You know, genocide. Genocide is a terminology. Now there is a new platform called ecocide. In 16 countries, there are, due to ecocide, there are some certain, this is actually a legal regulation that is dealing to file a criminal complaint if there is any kind of an ecocide. So again, it's similar in the Gediz Basin. In order to open up a stone mine, why do you get a permission from the state? you cannot actually get a permission for a massacre, can you? Similar thing happens for the nature as well. And many countries are looking for a criminal filed or a criminal complaint to be filed for those who are actually making massacre to the nature. And that is the reason why we're very serious. Restrictions and also measures and interventions have to be taken in order to heal the world. And about UNESCO, can you say a few words about UNESCO? Yes, of course. And now, the natural heritage accepted by UNESCO is not only meaningful for the past, but it can also be an asset that is alive today. So that is the reason why. So it's not something that you put in a museum, of course, in order to be in the World Nature Heritage, but you need to also follow it throughout the ages. And that is the reason why we regard Gediz as a natural heritage. And we need to define Gediz as such. And that's the reason why we have made our registration. And in order to protect Gediz in a much more better way, that we can find better tools to protect it. And on the other hand, to make this beautiful place to be visited by many tourists around the world, because UNESCO Natural Heritage, when you're on the UNESCO Natural Heritage list, that means that you are going to be a center of attraction as well. And hence the case, people would like to come over here to see this area. It has a touristic potential as well, in one way as well. So in order to protect it in a better way and so that it is attracted by many people, we have registered to the UNESCO list because it has a unique beauty. And no metropole in the world, just 15 minutes away from the city center, can you find such a beautiful place where flamingos can reproduce? So the Gediz Basin is such a basin. So it's just 15 minutes away from the city centers. And it's a very important place where flamingos are reproducing. So 10% of the flamingo population is living here. And it is an extraordinary beauty that you are facing there. So, of course, if we are in this list, then we can bring this enrichment to the world and to protect it.
Katkı sağlamış olacağız.
Çok teşekkürler.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor. And I would like to give the floor to Mr. Şıklay. I suppose you're still in the car. I hope there's no problem, Mr. Ali Muşuk. You are muted. Can you hear me now? Yes, we can hear you. All right. So about the Gediz Basin. The Izmir municipality has made a registration to the UNESCO Natural Heritage List. If it is accepted, how it is going to reflect and how it is going to impact Kütahya? We have already been talking about Glasgow, and Mr. Mayor Tunsoya was also there, and I had the opportunity to visit Glasgow as well with the Ministry of Environment, and I had the opportunity to follow it. And as it is said, I had the opportunity to be in the fair area, and there has been plenty of panels that are going simultaneously at the same time. So the more pollutant countries, the countries that are more polluted in the world, has to actually contribute to the Green Deal. So Turkey was not in this context actually, but the president of Turkey and also the Ministry of Environment and the Foreign Affairs, with the support of the World Bank and Germany, there has been a 3 billion of 150 million euros of a fund to be used is going to be on the agenda. Is it possible actually to use from that fund for the basin, for the Gediz Basin? maybe you can say a few words about this as well. First and foremost, thank you very much for this question. And I also would like to thank our distinguished mayors and the audience. So UNESCO is indeed a very important international organization. We as a province have registered on 2017 for folklore craftsmanship. That is the reason why we have also accepted, and this has indeed been very fruitful for our city. There are 7 provinces like we are. First and foremost, it's Kütahya in craftsmanship, then Afyon, Hatay, and Gaziantep in gastronomy, Kırşehir in music, and Istanbul in design is in the network of creation. So Kütahya is also one of it, and that's the reason why in UNESCO, whatever the situation here is, it is actually it is an area of registration. We have an ancient city in Kütahya, and also in Kütahya there are very important artisans that are making tiles, and they have been rewarded as well. So in education and training and in arts, UNESCO is giving a registration to the cities and also to creation. That's the reason why at any study that the Izmir mayor is taking steps to, we definitely would support it. Of course, the basin belongs to all of us, and the basin is necessary to be left for the next generation. It's our responsibility. And it is said that the pollutant countries are going to pay more. Is an important aspect, and we are also accepting this issue. That's the reason why the more we can have funds to the cities of Turkey, that the more we'll be happy. Of course, again, from the European Union funds, there are plenty of projects, and many sources are actually delivered. 3.9 million euros of a grant has been received by the Kütahya municipality. So we are right now trying to found the Creation and Craftsmanship Center. All the tiles and all the designs are going to be taken into data, are converted to going into a data. And of course, it is quite possible to get funds for the protection of these bases. Of course, we can actually involve in common projects together with neighboring provinces. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And I would like to give the floor to Mr. Mehmet Çakın, the mayor of Uşak, and similarly to the previous question. Of course, if the Gediz Basin can be registered into the UNESCO list, how is it going to reflect your city? And the same question that I asked to Mr. Mayor Ali Mushik. In order to contribute to the Green Deal, can you create projects in order to protect the basin? Yes, of course. Thank you very much. And in my previous speech, I also have said that international agreements and international follow-ups and monitoring is very much important in order to get results from such studies. Hence the case, Turkey being involved in the studies of Glasgow and also enacting the Paris Climate Agreement is very significant indeed. To be involved in many international organizations creates collaboration, of course, and we'll be more than happy to be part of it together with the Izmir municipality as the registration of the Izmir municipality and also protecting the basin within this context is definitely something that we would support. And I call this as well as a green future. And anything that we do in common collaboration, we definitely will undertake any responsibility from our part. For the green future, of course, there are plenty of other themes we can call. And one of the main factors to keep our basin clean is clean industrial factories. Of course, since 1895, there are factories in Uşak that is manufacturing. And before the foundation of the Turkish Republic, 3 of the 9 factories that have been established at that period of time belongs to Uşak, and that's the reason why, together with our collaborators and also the organized industrial zone managers, we can continue making certain types of projects with them. Hopefully, we can actually speed up this transformation and can contribute to the basin to be protected. Could be the international agency or national agencies, doesn't matter, but in all of the studies, we need to be working together so that we can give a better future to the young generation. And thank you very much for this wonderful summit, and I would like to greet all the audience.
We will have a very short round and we will close our session. And I'll give the floor to Tunç Soyer. You have issued certain articles, items for the rescue of Gediz River Basin. And can you please share those messages with us? What should we do? So we have a list of 12 articles, but I don't have this list in front of me. Maybe you can summarize it. Yes. So there are certain items, there are certain titles. Maybe I can emphasize them. First and foremost, elimination of the pollution. In order to do this, treatment facilities must be functioning, must be operated, and they must be controlled, audited. Sometimes some of them are checked, sometimes they are under control, but in order to save from electricity bill, those treatment facilities are not used in full function, so they should be controlled. And also the pattern of the products must be changed. Products that are in line with the rainfall, which do not require too much water, must be changed in animal husbandry, in also agriculture, farming. And also the technology of irrigation should be changed. Drop irrigation should be preferred, and certain technologies which could be replacing traditional irrigation must be chosen. And also there are certain borders which are maybe separating our cities from one another. Let alone these borders on one side, we need to give the worth to our region altogether, and we have to act together. We have to take ownership of this basin altogether. We should be very willing to do so. And we can also invite other public institutions, the representatives of the relevant ministries, and also other ministries must be invited to a cooperation, and also our citizens' awareness must be increased. So this is maybe the summary of the 12 articles. Thank you very much, esteemed Mayor. Thank you so much. Yes, Aylin Işık, esteemed Mayor, Aylin Işık. What would you like to say? as your last words for this session? Of course, you have given very great messages, but maybe you can summarize certain words for River Basin. Thank you very much. I'd like to once again thank Mr. Tunç Soyer. I agree what he mentioned, but in addition to what he mentioned, especially in certain cities, districts driven with industry, if it is possible in Uşak and Kütahya, treatment facilities in industrial zones must be developed with the latest technologies. This is great. This is what we want. And in Kütahya, we have one of the latest modern technologies, but from time to time there are leakages. Unfortunately, our industrialists, when they find opportunity, they just ignore the importance of this issue and they do not operate their treatment facilities. So sometimes, because of their economic concerns, they ignore the importance of the environment and they just trigger the release of the pollutant water. This is a big problem. This is their responsibility and obligation, and all the industrialists should forsake and give up on these acts. It still continues. We need to have some very strict precautions and sanctions must be applied. All the institutions should work together, starting from the Directorate of District Agricultural Offices, because this is an important responsibility and we should be just and fair to next generations. And another important issue is that if we use the water sources correctly, it will be, of course, one of the important parts of the solution. And we have to have the technological irrigation methods like rainfall, precipitation irrigation, and also drop irrigation. We should leave traditional irrigation methods. And also, I agree with the pattern change on the materials that are produced on agricultural farms. We need to be producing added value products on our agriculture, and the pattern should be changed. Yes, when it comes to barley, wheat, and some traditional agricultural farming, it must also sustain, but I mean, we have to have a realistic production that is in line with the rain precipitation features of the region. And UNESCO and some other international institutions are very important for us, by the way. We should be a member to those institutions so that there will be more resource allocation to our side, our society, and our institutions. All the places should renew themselves with the support of those international places. For instance, in October, as Kütahya Municipality Mayor, we hosted an international organization, and we really reached great benefits. Many people from our country and abroad had the chance to get to know our city.
Onun için o uluslararası proje ve organizasyonlar konusunda da bölge belediye olarak işbirliği içerisinde her zaman olmamız gerekiyor.
And as the municipalities of the region, we have to be always in collaboration and coordination. Once again, I'd like to thank you very much for giving this opportunity to me, the newspaper, and all the participants. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, as the mayor. And
Teşekkür ediyorum. Ben de şöyle özetleyeyim.
What can you say in your last turn? I can summarize it like this. This is how I see the situation. First and foremost, we should not pollute. And I believe that fight against pollution is cheaper than cleaning. We have to be using resources more efficiently and effectively because resources are getting depleted and scarce. First and foremost, we have to plan everything correctly and invest correctly. No matter what the issue is, food or water, we have to be saving them. And that's the saving consciousness must be given to our children since the beginning of the school, and even in the family level. We have to teach our children not to waste.
getirici cihazlar kullanmamız, bunları dağıtmamız.
Maybe we can use some devices that can be very much instrumental for savings, and also recycling method must also be chosen. We should not throw everything away. Rather than throwing it away to the nature, maybe we can recycle certain things. By the way, Uşak is a city of recycling, and many confectionery and textile wastes are recycled and re-given to the economy, and it must be applied to every field in the society. And our state, as you all know, has the zero waste perception, and that zero waste understanding should also be settled in every institution. So at the very end, it would be easier to eliminate or clean all the waste. So if we can minimize the waste, I believe that this is going to be much more economic and cheaper than cleaning, and we will have a better and cleaner world. Thank you very much, and I wish a very beneficial Congress everyone once again. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. We have come to the end of our session, and I think esteemed Mayor Tunç Soyer is much more hopeful after he came back from Glasgow, and everything that you mentioned must be sustainable. And I was really feeling like you mentioned, I'm really hopeful and optimistic because our country has also become a party to the climate agreement, Paris Climate Agreement, and I believe we will be discussing these issues much more frequently from now on, and slowly but surely I believe we will be much more effective as local governments. Thank you very much, esteemed Tunç Soyer, esteemed Alim Işık, esteemed Mehmet Çakın. Thank you very much. And again, Alim Işık, we wish you a very safe journey, and I wish everyone safe and healthy days. Thank you very much. Thank you.